In these clips, we see B-24s and B-25s attacking airfields in New Guinea. During the start of 1944, the 5th Air Forces was concerned by the buildup of Japanese aircraft at 4 airfields near WWII, New Guinea. The planes at these airfields were spread out, which made bombing attacks ineffective. The 5th Air Forces hatched a brilliant plan to trick the Japanese to position their aircraft wingtip-to-wingtip, where they could be effectively surprise attacked by B-25 bombers dropping para-frags and strafing with their machine guns. The plan worked. 60 Japanese aircraft were destroyed and another 20 damaged out of the 108 possible targets. The 5th lost no aircraft during this mission. The intent of this video is to walk through a narration of the mission, how the Japanese were tricked, review the weapons used, and watch a newsreel of the mission. The basis for this video will be the material in this declassified June 1945 Evaluation Board document reviewing the WWII Airfield and Aircraft Neutralization Strike Plan. As we walk through the document, the channel will provide context to the attack events as discussed for clarity. This map shows the state of Japanese-controlled territories as of February 1, 1944, from a 1945 World War II atlas. The airfield attacks occurred 2 days later on February 3, 1944. New Guinea is here, with control split, half with the Allies, half with the Japanese. The 4 Japanese airfields to be targeted are located in this area. This map shows a location of the 3 5th Air Force bases and the 4 enemy air bases, Borum, WWII, Dagwa, and Butt. The distances from the U.S. to Japanese airfields are shown here, ranging from 288 to 506 miles. General Kenny's 5th Air Force Advanced Echelon is located here in Port Moresby. Intelligence estimated overall aircraft strength increased from 173 planes on December 2, 1943, to 282 planes on February 2, 1944, just 2 months later. The goal of the February 3rd attack was to destroy as many enemy aircraft as possible. The plan involved tricking the Japanese into densely parking their planes along the runway in a straight line, and then attack the concentrated parked planes. 2 highly coordinated attacks would be required for this plan to succeed. This map shows the location of the 4 Japanese airfields and their sizes. Borum is closest and is 4,600 feet in length. WWII is shortest at 4,000 feet in length. Dagwa is the longest at 6,700 feet, and Bud is the farthest at 5,200 feet in length. All of the airfields are of natural dirt construction, no concrete or asphalt, which makes them difficult to repair if cratered. Borum and WWII were attacked during the first phase. This map shows an overhead view of the Borum airfield. The dirt runway is here. The fighter dispersal areas are here, and the bomber dispersal areas are here. Carpet bombing the Japanese planes in these dispersal areas is a hit or miss attack. The airfield is protected by 24 heavy, 2 medium, and 65 light caliber guns, as identified by these map symbols. Overhead views of the other 3 airfields' layouts, features, and defenses are shown in these images, including WWII, Dagwa, and Butt. 5th Air Force Intelligence estimated the actual number of planes at the 4 airfields to be 36 at Borum, 22 WWII, 33 Dagwa, and 17 at Butt. The total number of Japanese planes equated to 108. For the plan to work, the 5th would need to trick the Japanese into moving their 58 planes from Borum and WWII to Dagwa and Butt. The first part of the plan is described on this page. The Japanese fell for the trap. Escorted B-24 bombers attacked the airfields at Borum and WWII over a 2-hour period on the morning of February 3rd. The Japanese planes took off from the 2 airfields before the bombers arrived to avoid the bombing attacks. The B-24s attacked the airfields with 1,000 and 2,000-pound general-purpose bombs. The dirt airstrips were unusable due to bomb cratering. For the plan to work, you want the Japanese to know you're coming, so bombing was conducted at higher altitudes, intentionally alerting the Japanese early warning system. Since their airfields at Borum and WWII were cratered, they flew to Dagwa and Butt, where they thought it would be safe. This page from a 1997 Air Force history document titled General Kenny Reports describes the efforts the 5th put into this ruse. The 5th attacked just Borum and WWII during 3 earlier missions, not attacking Dagwa and Butt. Dagwa and Butt were not attacked to persuade the Japanese into thinking these airfields were safe. This page shows a map of the WWII airstrip prior to, during, and after the February 3rd bombing and describes details of the attack. The airfield was bombed by 25 B-24s. The bombers attacked from 10:09 a.m. to 1:20 p.m. The B-24s dropped 10 2,000-pound general-purpose bombs, 8 with an instantaneous nose fuse, 2 with a 1/10 of a second time-delayed fuse, and 149 1,000-pound general-purpose bombs, all with instantaneous fuses. Bombing was conducted at altitude ranges from 7,500 to 18,000 feet. The bombers were escorted by fighters, but there were no enemy fighter attacks on the bombers. Ground AA fire was classified as medium and inaccurate. The airfield was left unserviceable and 6 planes were destroyed on the ground. This page from a 1945 Bomb and Fuses document provides characteristics and a cutaway of the M65 1,000-pound general-purpose bomb used in the attack. The bomb is 67 inches in length, 19 inches in diameter, has a casing wall thickness of 0.5 inches, and its weight equates to 990 pounds when filled with 558 pounds of TNT. Its M103 nose fuse was set for an instantaneous detonation. The M66 2,000-pound general-purpose bomb is a scaled-up M65 with around 2 times the explosive fill at 1,117 pounds. These tables list crater sizes expected based on bomb weight and fuse time delay setting from a 1945 bomb and fuse effectiveness document. A soil runway crater size of 17 feet wide and 5 feet deep is expected for an instantaneously fused 1,000-pound general-purpose bomb, and 22 feet wide and 6 feet deep for an instantaneously fused 2,000-pound general-purpose bomb. A much larger crater size of 37 feet wide and 15 feet deep is expected for a 0.1 second time-delayed fused 2,000-pound general-purpose bomb. Craters can be observed on and around WWII's runway. This page shows images of Borum's airstrip prior to, during, and after the attack. It was bombed by 33 B-24s from 10:55 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. with 288 1,000-pound general-purpose bombs, all instantaneously fused. Release altitude varied between 9,000 and 21,000 feet. AA fire was intense and accurate. The runway was unserviceable. The 17-foot wide, 5-foot deep runway bomb craters are visible in this image. Now that the Japanese have fallen for the trap, time to execute the second part of the plan. The 50 or so airplanes that took off from WWII or Borum to escape the attack landed in Dagwa and Butt airfields. While the planes were refueling and rearming, 62 B-25s attacked the airfield, targeting the planes. They were attacked by machine gun strafing and para-frag bombs. The planes were lined up wingtip to wingtip. The parked planes were attacked with 1,333 bombs and 118,000 rounds of ammunition. This page summarizes the Dagwa airfield attack. 40 B-25s attacked the airfield. The attack lasted 6 minutes, starting at noon. The B-25s dropped 250 para-frag clusters, 220 100-pound para-frag bombs, and 510 23-pound para-frag bombs. The parked planes were strafed with 61,000 50 caliber and 14,615 30 caliber rounds. The attack was at an altitude between 100 and 400 feet. This image shows a para-frag attack on the airfield, P-38's flying top cover. The channel has produced deep dive topic videos on fragmentation bombs, para-frag bombs, and airfield strafing. The 23-pound para-frag bomb seen on this page is hands down the best bomb for the destruction of parked planes. They are dropped from either clusters like these 3 M40s in the M4 cluster or individually from special racks within the B-25's bomb bay. Para-frags dropped on a parked plane in an open revetment. Para-frags dropped on planes in concealment. The surprise attack was successful. The 60 to 70 planes that were lined up along the side of the runway were targeted. AA fire was moderate, heavy, medium, and accurate. The attack on Butt's airfield is described on this page. 22 B-25s attacked the Butt airfield that lasted 10 minutes from 12:08 to 12:18. 245 para-frag clusters were dropped in addition to 108 100-pound para-demolition bombs. 39,150 caliber and 5,400 30 caliber rounds were fired. Ground AA fire was characterized as intense, heavy, and medium accurate. Let's look at some images from the report and a summary of the attacks. Para-frags dropped on the Dagwa airstrip. Planes are lined up here. This airstrip is 250 feet wide, and the bomb's lethal radius is around 50 feet. The Japanese were caught by surprise. B-25s are here with the caption, "Smoke interfered with the follow-on planes even though the surprise attack only lasted 10 minutes. These hills were traversed at low altitude to gain a surprise attack." Para-frags are referred to as toadstools, a para-frag bomb landing within a few feet of a parked plane. The surprise attacks are described as well-planned, hard-hitting, low-level bombing attacks, but airfield para-frag attack. This page summarizes the results of the attack. Of the 60 aircraft destroyed, 14 were destroyed in air-to-air combat. 35 at Dagwa, 6 at Butt, and 5 split between Borum and WWII. In addition, 20 planes were damaged on the ground for 0 5th Air Force attacking plane losses. It would be easy to claim that this mission was a spectacular success given the loss of 60 enemy aircraft, 20 damaged, and 2 airfields put out of operation, with the 5th Air Forces suffering 0 losses. General Kenny describes the second attack on this page. 62 B-25s escorted by 66 fighters flew at treetop level, attacked Dagwa and Butt airfields. The plan worked. The Japanese fell for the trap. They diverted their planes to these airfields and they were densely lined up along the runway, which made for easy targets. Engines were running and ground crews were servicing them. There were no U.S. losses. Let's watch a video of the February 3, 1944 B-25 attacks. If you've enjoyed this New Guinea Airfield Strike case study deep dive review and found it interesting, informative, and worthy of your time, please consider liking, commenting, and/or subscribing to World War II U.S. Bombers.